Hey, I'm April, and self discovery is your best business strategy. Um, this little talk today is answering the question: are you building a business you actually want, or one that just looks good? Um, when I think of this question, um, I think of when I first decided that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do this entrepreneurial thing. And this was many, many years ago. And for a lot of us, when we decide we're going to do this thing, we're going to start this, the first thing we do is we go and we look for stuff. We look for stuff usually to buy to get us there quicker, right? So I ran into opportunities to build a consulting business. I ran into opportunities to build a course. I ran into opportunities to do things like master classes and just all the things. All of those things are wonderful. Like I can't sit up here and say that the investment that I made, which was thousands and thousands of dollars, it was not wasted money. I purchased from people that I trusted, people that actually got others' results. Even the material in the courses, top notch. Like I really and thoroughly enjoyed, you know, parts of their philosophy and what they, were training on. I cannot say that I was ever disappointed. Like I know some people, they buy courses and things like that, but they fall short. When I spent 5 G's on a course, which I have 3 times, um, I actually got a lot of value from it. Here was the issue, and which I think is what I try to deter clients from doing before you do this one step. I did not know exactly what I was trying to build, right? Because I did little self discovery, especially discovery around who I want to be as a business owner. Like what does it look like for me? What does my day-to-day look like for me? What does success look like for me? Um, and just those kinds of things. And you get to explore those things when you actually sit down and figure those things out. And what happens when you go buying courses is that it's this package system and you just like, this is going to help me to set up my business and, plug and play, boom, pow, and we just gonna get it done. And that has never happened for me. And I kept saying, well, okay, it's valuable material. I am doing what I think I need to do and nothing's happening. And I think one of the things that I noticed that for me was a blocker for me was every time the program got to a place where I had to put myself out there, right? Go live or something like that, or make content or just be seen, it was an immediate no for me, right? And that may be the same for you, or you can go back to what triggered you, what made you, what made this program not a success for you, right? What was the stinking thinking, right? What were you thinking that caused you to just put it back on the shelf? And for me, it was the being seen part. It was I gotta go live. Well, I gotta make content. Like, what are you saying though? Like, I don't even have problems making sales calls. Like, I'm not even that person. Like, I understand that sales is just educating people. Like, I like how they said it where when you speak to someone on a sales call, you're just gathering information. You're gathering information and then you are showing them how, after what all they said, how your product, program, or whatever can help them. Right. And for me, I just see it as conversation. So things like sales, that doesn't bother me. What bothered me is creating content. Right. What bothered me is looking for clients, right? Because it's like, I don't want to bother anybody, right? I don't want to, and that stuff. And what I learned with doing a little bit more self-discovery and really seeing that as a pattern in my behavior was that I had to get that under wraps. There was no buying another thing if I'm not going to commit to putting myself out there and sharing my voice and letting people know what my products are and what I'm selling and how I can help them, then put the credit card away, because none of it is going to work. And that is what I believe that I did in the beginning. I just bought a system that I saw and thought, we're just going to do this. And that goes into, do you have a business? Are you building a business that you actually want, or one that just looks good, one that you plugged and played on the internet for, and now you are doing something that is trendy, right? But it's not you, right? It's not something that you are thriving at. You're making a little bit of money, but it's not really working the way that you thought it was going to work. And you think that it's you, or you think that it's something about you not being able to be successful in that thing. Maybe that's not the thing, right? Maybe that's just not the thing. Or maybe you're not there yet, right? Like for me, like when I bought the course on making courses, I don't even think I was there yet. And I know that they say, oh, well, you don't have to have a concept. You really don't have to have anything. And that's true for some. For me, I was just so all over the place with ideas and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and okay, is this gonna work, or what type of concepts do I want to work, what kind of ideas do I want to teach, or to it was a mess, right? And this is why it rolls back into self-discovery and just really working with someone or by yourself just to say, what do I want in a business? What do I want it to look like? What kinds of things do I want to do? And what are the kinds of things that I do not want to do? Right. And that's also important. And I think the importance in that is that sometimes you think that, well, I'm building a business, I'm going to have to do things that I don't want to do, which is true. Right. Administrative, operational. Right. And those are things that you can actually hire for. Right. But when I'm talking about the things that you don't want to do, I really mean the things that you're not even good at anyway, right? I am, my top 5 strengths are deliberative, intellectual, relator, command, and learner, right? So if you go to deliberative, this is a strength that for me, I am a very careful decision maker, right? I don't just do things because, it's cute, right? I have to think about it. And I factor that into the decisions I have to make for my business. I'm not going to make a decision really quickly because I need to understand some things first, right? And if I do make a decision quickly, I have learned to also just grace around decision making, right? And I installed that, right, in the way that I do things, because I feel like if I make the decision and it's not a great decision, I'm going to kick myself. So now I don't kick myself. I'm like, you know what? I made the best decision I thought at the time, and that's fine, right? I was willing to take the risk on making a quick decision, and I built that into the way that I do things because I know that I need time, but sometimes I don't have time, right? And then with the learner thing, like I will put my head in a book and, and just research things to the hills, right? And I had to learn as a learner that, yeah, we're going to get out of this, you know, learning and go out and share this knowledge and help other people. And so that's like the thing that I have on myself right now is kind of like a limit, right? I have a limit on what I can learn. And I install that for myself, because if not, I will just stay in the books. I will learn all the things and I will just, just have a whole, learning session with myself. And that's all I'll do. Right. And with a relator as one of my top 5, and this is on the Clifton Strengths. If you have not taken that, go take the Clifton Strengths test. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you that a few seconds ago. But the Clifton Strengths Finder, there are other things like DISC and things like that. But Clifton Strengths, it has 34 strengths. It'll give you your top 5. I think it's like 30 or $40 right now. And for me, I work with clients with, let's try to use this thing, these things. Let's try to use these to build your business around for yourself. And then for me, like Relator is a thing for me. And a Relator just means that I prefer smaller groups, right? I'm not gonna plan an event where I'm speaking to 8,000 people, right? I'm not gonna plan an event where I'm inviting people to anything that's large and busy and just too much. I can't, like, physically, like, I can't do it, right? I prefer, a Zoom session, a nice small, group Zoom session. That will work for me. Couple of people at a coffee shop, right? Where we can kind of have a little conversation and talk. That is more my speed, but I know this. And not that I didn't know it before I took the assessment, but it helps in saying, you know what, I'm going to design a business where, again, I'm not doing things that do not complement my natural strengths and my natural preferences. Um, and that goes into building, and that's why I'm talking about this, because those things go into building a business that you want, not one that's just trendy or that everybody else is doing, right? Because I understand what everybody else is doing, but I always have to come back to, okay, so what are my natural strengths, my natural gifts and abilities, my experience, and plain and simple, do I want to do this or I don't want to do that? Because that matters. Like, people think if they say, I don't want to do that, that's not valid. It's so valid. Just, I don't want to do that. I'm looking at that. I don't want it. Period. Full stop. And you don't have to explain that to anybody. And again, all of those things factor into building a business that you actually want, that you actually like, and being the person that you really, really want to be in that business. And that is all that I have for today. Thank you so much. Follow the links. I am giving 45-minute clarity sessions, and be the bag. Don't chase the bag. Have a good one. Bye.